More often than not, I would agree with the fact that I'm a nerd. I love to geek out about various franchises and series that I'm passionate about. Ask me any question about Marvel, Star Wars, Destiny, any of those various things, and I can probably give you a more detailed answer than you would have probably hoped for. And although I know a lot about these series and franchises, one franchise that I never got into, never really tried, was D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. All I know about D&D is what I've seen from episodes of Community and Stranger Things. I have no basis to know if that's accurate or not, so I practically know nothing about the series. So when it was announced that a Dungeons and Dragons movie was happening, I didn't really think much of it. I wasn't really excited. And when I saw the first trailer for it, it just looked like a generic fantasy film and just another attempt for a studio to grab an existing IP and try to make some money off of it. And although I can't speak for that last part, Dungeons and Dragons surprised me. Honor Amongst Thieves is by no means a groundbreaking film, but it is a film full of likable characters and some pretty funny moments, which lead to a pretty good time watching this one. The movie follows Edgin Darvis, played by Chris Pine, a harper turned thief following the death of his wife. A harper, from what I can tell, is almost like a knight or a kind of like spy, but think like knight. I never really understood. He forms a gang of thieves consisting of Holga, a powerful woman who becomes like a second mother to Edgin's daughter, Simon, the unconfident sorcerer, and Forge, the con man. One day, a mysterious wizard named Sophina. I thought it was witch when it's a girl. Is it just all wizards in Dungeons and Dragons? Do witches not exist? I'm not sure. Besides the point. Sophina asks for their assistance in raiding a castle, which contains a tablet that can raise one person from the dead. So Edgin naturally wants to get his wife back. So he and the crew raid the castle, but it all goes to crap faster than the latest Marvel project, and Edgin and Holga are captured and thrown into prison for 2 years. They escape and come to find out that Forge has conned himself into becoming the Lord of Neverwinter. Forge also takes care of Edgin's daughter, by wish of Edgin, and starts to feed her lies about her father to turn her away from him. After escaping, Holga and Edgin go to retrieve the tablet and his daughter, but are denied by Forge and turned in by him. They once again escape and recruit Simon and Doric, the Druid, really hope I said that right, to help them steal back the tablet and Edgin's daughter, while Sophina and Forge hatch a secret plan which could be catastrophic to the land of Neverwinter. Although I can't speak on how faithful this movie is to the source material, I can at least tell you that I had a pretty enjoyable experience viewing this film. The story is basic enough, pretty easy to follow, and the movie feels like a game, with all the side quests and all the different ways that the heroes have to come across certain objects that they need to go raid the castle. I hope for D&D players it makes them feel like they're watching a D&D campaign. I had low expectations for the character work in this film. With most modern movies, I feel like character work isn't done that great, and then I saw an article that said the directors enjoyed emasculating the leading men in the film, which is a weird way to market a movie to an audience primarily made up of men. However, I don't really know what these directors were talking about, because from what I could tell, the men were great in the film. And sure, they weren't the strongest characters always on screen, but I don't think that strength in and of itself, like physical strength, is what makes a man. The men I think they're talking about, Simon, Edgin, definitely never felt like they were emasculated. They just weren't the strongest, which I guess is what they were talking about. And even though Holga is the physically strong brawler of the group, she's never that strong female for no reason, like almost invincible character that I feel like we see over and over again in modern day films. Yes, she is strong, but she has flaws. She has weaknesses, and she needs other members of the team to help her, just like other members of the team need her help. I think they did a great job with Holga, and I think they did a great job with just the characters overall. They were really likable. Even Forge, the villain, I enjoyed his presence on screen. Hugh Grant did an amazing job. This movie wasn't what I thought it was, even in regards to the character work. It's not preachy. It doesn't do what I feel like a ton of movies do nowadays. I didn't feel preached to. It's nice. The only characters I really had problems with, and they're kind of minor, are Simon, Doric, and Sophina. For the most part, I found Simon to be a pretty likable character and pretty cool. However, there are a couple moments where his self-deprecating personality is just, it's kind of annoying. Doric is a cool character. I love the shape-shifting scenes she has, like when she turns into an owl bear. That was really cool. Besides her abilities, she isn't that interesting. Sophina is really cool as well. She has really awesome moments throughout the film. Kind of terrifying too. I think they did a good job with these villains, making them look a little bit scary. Throughout the film, you're like, that lady's powerful. And there were moments where I was like, I don't know how the heroes are going to defeat this lady. But although she's super powerful and although she does pose an actual threat to the heroes, I wish we could have gotten her fleshed out a little bit. By the end of the movie, she just seems like a henchman, just kind of doing what she was told. It almost kind of felt like a Steppenwolf situation. And if this was a standalone film, if this was going to be the only Dungeons and Dragons that comes out, then I wouldn't be talking about this. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But the fact that you're setting up more sequels, you're setting up other films with a bigger villain, could have fleshed out the plan, why she's following along, all that stuff. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more fleshing out. Especially for the newbie who doesn't really understand red wizards. It could have been nice. But maybe that's just because I'm a noob and all the hardcore D&D players are like, oh my gosh, the setup was perfect. I think this movie did a great job introducing the world of Dungeons and Dragons. In a short 2-hour and 15-minute runtime, I think it did an extremely good job at trying to explain a lot and introduce a lot in that short amount of time. Could it have been better? I do think so. The movie is pretty funny. I laughed a lot throughout the film. The movie kind of reminded me a little bit of old Marvel in its type of humor. Kind of miss that. However, when jokes didn't land, they crashed and they burned. But the good is really good, and so it kind of balances out. I feel like more jokes landed than they didn't. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is nothing extraordinary, but a really good time. It's way better than I expected it to be. It tells a simple yet engaging story, full of likable characters and fun action sequences that left me hopeful that Paramount would continue this series, would continue exploring the world of Dungeons and Dragons and telling more stories within it. But that's about it for me. Let me know down in the comment section below what y'all thought. Did you like it? Did you not? If you're a hardcore D&D fan, let me know how faithful it was. I am actually interested. But as always, I love you all so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. And until next time, peace out, bro skillets.